Okay, my friends, here is another classic example of why you shouldn't expect that I know everything about boats, or necessarily the right way to do it. Did I screw up? Okay, let's go back in time. First of all, today is the first week of April 2023. I'm aboard Boogaboo, clearly, working on my pre launch projects. And one of the main things that I have to do before the boat goes in the water is to finish removing the stripes off of the hull. Um, if I go back in time to last November, I'm going to show you some clips of me using a tool not unlike this. I should say not unlike this wheel here, which is designed to remove stripes. It's an adhesive eraser wheel. Well, it works great. It works awesomely. It takes the stripes off really, really easily and really nicely. However, again, in my haste, I did not read the instructions completely, and it says where it says not recommended for plastic, fiberglass, or lacquer coated surfaces. Well, the thing of it is, like I say, it takes the stripes off really, really well, super efficiently. But I think I don't know, maybe produced a little bit too much heat in a couple of spots, and it kind of, I don't know if it bled through this material or the actual gold stripes, but on the starboard side where I was doing that last fall, there is a few yellow streaks, and I don't know if I'll be able to take those out. I tried yesterday. I used the muriatic acid. I tried acetone. I did a lot of buffing, and to little avail. So the thing is that what we're going to do is, I had hoped to replace the stripes along the water line, but I'm not going to replace the stripes. So between Anchor Girl and I discussing, the plan is just to remove the stripes along the water line, buff it up, and leave it for this year. Put the boat in the water and see what it looks like. If we feel that we need to put stripes on, that can wait till either the end of this season or the beginning of next season. I don't really care. I think it looks good, apart from those couple little yellow streaks along the side. Um, I think it looks clean, and I think it looks a lot better. Well, it looks a hell of a lot better than it did last year. I'll show you a couple of pictures of what it looked like. Um, this boat came from the factory with a gold stripe. First of all, bottom coat paint, which is blackish, a gap, and then a black stripe about roughly an inch and a bit, and then a gap, and then a gold stripe. The black stripe, which is closest to the water line, has been replaced on both sides on this boat. I know that because the one on, sorry, I said starboard side, but it's the port side. Sorry, the port side. If I had said, been saying starboard side up until now, I'm mistaken. I misspoke. It's the port side where I was working last year. Anyways, the black stripe, the one closest to water, was peeling off, and it looked like shit. So it had to be removed, replaced, or whatever. So I'm guessing since it was close to the water, it had, started to fail or peeling off or cracked or whatever over time. So it was replaced completely. Now on the starboard side, I'm saying that correctly. Yesterday I used a heat gun, trying to avoid the use of this, and I was able to get off that black stripe relatively easy. It still took me about an hour and a half of screwing around between the black and then the remaining gold stripe, which is the factory one. It's not coming off with the heat gun. I tried. It will come off, but I'm taking off this much at a time. So I am going back to this before you yell at me and say, "Paul, no, you can use this and that." Too late. I'm doing it, but I'm gonna do it with a little bit more care and control, and not trying to be as quick to get it done. So I'll just go and try to not let it get too hot on that surface, because I think that was the issue. And I'll start in a little bit, and I will start with a little bit, a short section I should say, and see how that goes. But either way, that rest of that stripe will be removed today, because I of course only have limited time before the boat goes back in the water. It's a gorgeous day again today. Yesterday was so nice, it was so warm, I was working right down on my t-shirt. Now, just so if you're not paying attention at home, we are located in Ontario, Canada. There's still a bit of ice out there in the marina at the slips, so it's otherwise cool. But yesterday was nice and warm, sunny. Like I said, I was just down to a t-shirt at one point in the afternoon. Today is a little bit cooler, but it's still supposed to warm up. A little bit of cloud cover, so it'll be nice for working. So I got to get that done. I want to polish the sides as well, and then put on the finish coat, not wax. The hell is this stuff called? No, hold on. It is called. It's a polymer sealant, and then we'll show you that. I'll show you that more directly when I get to that stage. But for now, I'm just going to start working on removing that stripe. Wish me luck. Well, I am happy to say that that worked a hell of a lot better on this side. A little bit of experimenting, I discovered that by putting that rubber wheel on like a 45-degree angle into the tape, it just cut away so much nicer, and also operating at a lot slower speed. I think I was probably under 500 RPM with that wheel spinning around. So if you want to attempt this yourself and use one of those, yeah, that would be my recommendation. I actually discovered that, like say, I went in on a 45-degree angle, so it kind of, cut into that wheel down to a 45-degree angle. But I got up towards the front, because I was starting there and coming back again, and I noticed it was doing that same almost like a burn into the fiberglass, just a tiny little area. Not as bad as it was on the other side. So I changed the angle of attack to straight in. So I think it's the smaller surface area against the fiberglass is the best, because then I believe it doesn't heat up as much. And the last thing is that I got most of that wheel left over. When I did the other side, I burned it down. There was something left, but it was down to the ring where it's imprinted right on the top of it. It says don't cut past this point, and I was right down to that, and I thought, geez, I'm gonna probably need 2 to do this side. But yeah, hardly wore it down at all. So I think the key is little surface area, so like I say 45 degrees, and then lower speed so it doesn't burn, right? That sounds like a bad term, but I think that's what it was doing. And then once I got that yellow tape off that gold tape, I was able to go back over where the black, where it just pulled off and peeled off, and was able to clean off all of the residue glue that was still on there. So I'm very happy about that. So now I have an old buffing pad, well, not old, but a previously loved buffing pad, and I'm gonna attack that line along here and knock it down as much as I can. And when I got that done, then I'm going to put on a new buffing pad and then hit the whole side of the hull, like up to the rub rail anyways. She's looking nice. Well, that went really well, and I'm really, really happy with the results. The starboard side turned out a lot nicer, in my humble opinion, just because from what I just explained to you, that just taking it easy, using that wheel to remove the stripes, the stripe and the residue of the other stripe turned out really, really good. There's only one little off color part just right at the bow, but you're probably never going to see it. If you ever saw this boat in person, you would probably never notice it, simply because it's right at the bow where the bow flares out, so it'll be close to the water line, and hopefully nobody ever notices it other than me. Port side, I think will be okay. The only other thing that is still noticeable to a critical eye like mine is where the stripes were. You can see that, remember, this boat is 25 years old, so it's been polished many, many times, plus the sun has been bleached in the hull and wearing it down slowly like on any fiberglass boat. But where the stripes have been, that gel coat seems to be a little bit raised, if you know what I'm saying, so it's probably up like 1 or 2 thou. No different than if you replace a name that's been, or sorry, I should say remove a name that's been on a transom for many, many years. You pull it off, you'll still see that shadow. But again, given the fact that it's right down at the water line, hopefully nobody's going to notice it, or hopefully it doesn't stick out so bad that people go, oh my god, did you see that down there? I don't care. Like I say, we're going to live with it this year. I shouldn't say live with it. We are going to see what it looks like over this coming summer, and I'm sure that once the whole hull has been exposed to bright sunlight and the UV rays and everything else, it will hopefully all sort of fade together and be a little bit more uniform. And if not, if we can't live with it, like I said, next year I'll just put, I'll replace the stripes. I'll put new stripes where the old ones were. Yeah, so the only other option would be to wet sand all along where the stripes were, to just kind of knock that down, but I don't have the time, nor do I have the inclination to do that for this year, and I really think it's going to be okay. Just to let you know, the product that I use to do that buffing is Meguiar's heavy duty oxidization remover, which I've been using for years. I can already read the comments of people saying, oh, you can't use that, that's the wrong stuff, Paul. Works for me, and that's why these videos are called How I Did It, not How to Do It. So yeah, I've heard it all before. So anyways, I'm happy with the results. I'm sure Anchor Girl's gonna love it as much as I. She's not as critical with her eye when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I walk by it, I see something out just a little bit, I'll just glare at it. She'll say, just look away, look away. Yeah, so it's all good. Very happy with the progress of yesterday, a little bit yesterday and a little bit today. And the next thing I'm going to do on the next video, you're going to see how I did it to just give the rest of the hull a quick polish and then put on the polymer sealant. I've said too much. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that one. Let me know what you think about this one, and if you've ever had a situation yourself where you've had to remove a stripe or a name or something like that, and it was causing issues for you. Alrighty, I will see you on the next one. I'll look forward to all of your positive comments. Cheers.